Guys, waiting for the stream to go live. Welcome to MCQ Marathon Lower Limb. So I'm starting with, I didn't want to start with the theoretical part of the lower limb, but a few people wanted to revise some of the concepts of the lower limb. So we're doing the MCQs and we'll see whatever concepts from the lower limb that we have to cover at a later time. But right now we are doing an MCQ Marathon for lower limb, and today is part one of that MCQ Marathon. Let's see if we have two parts, depending on how many questions we cover. So I'll just open presentation on YouTube. So I have your live chat here. So if you want to say anything, you can type it right there, and you can type. Guys, trust me, nobody here is going to judge you for anything, and essentially nobody knows. Even if we know your name, we'll know who you are. We're probably miles apart. So please, if you have any doubts, do ask them freely, right? And if you have any questions, I'll be happy. So let's be quick in our starting. So as you can see, we have new slides today. So see, slides given to us by Unacademy. They did not have the iconic subscription. Still, I was telling you about the iconic subscription right from my first class. Now they've given this in a structured manner. So welcome to Let's Crack, right? The YouTube channel of Unacademy, their India's largest online learning platform, where you have the top educators, pretty content, have a great learning. So today, as I told you, first of all, I have to tell you a little bit about myself. My name is Chetanya Mittal. I'm a third semester MBBS student at All India Institute of Medical Sciences, India's best medical. Otherwise, what is comparable? But you don't have a UG course there. So my All India rank was 4 in the AIMS UG examination. All India rank was 5 in the, yeah, and that is about me. And the benefit of learning from me, like I told you, is that this is a peer-to-peer learning. I'm almost at the same stage as you. So because of that I know what are the difficulties that are there in various topics. And second, I'm very fresh with all these concepts. So that is a plus here. So I can probably bring you back to those concepts the way you learned them, or or if you are learning, if you are at the same, right? So let's start with MCQ Marathon Lower Limb Part 1. Um, we'll probably have another part as well. Let's see if we have a part 3. So first of all, I really love this much better than the screen that I was using. Right. So before that, I just want to stress that my plus referral code 10. Before I start, it is my job to tell you a little about the Academy app and the Unacademy support. First thing that you should do right now is go to the Play Store and download the Unacademy Learning app if you right. And I will tell you why. Because the app is free of cost. Go ahead and install this app, and you will have in-app purchases. But even if you do not purchase anything, do not purchase a subscription, there is a lot of free content there, and that there are you'll see that there are over 10 million downloads for the app. So there are a lot of top educators here. So like I said, you have top educators here. So this is for NEET PG. For NEET UG, you have other educators. You have all these experienced educators who have decent number of watch minutes, number of people who are following them for their advice for their classes. Right? So and all of these educators, they're making plus courses. All of these are structured courses, structured plus courses, and these courses will give access to will give you access to a lot of compiled information that is not available on any other platform, right? So all of these are plus courses. All of these are locked because you need an Unacademy Plus subscription to access all these. And then why I was telling you to download the app even if you don't want to take. There are a lot of special classes here on and all of these special classes are free of cost, right? And since they are free of cost, they are free of cost. Uh, you don't need a subscription watch them. You can simply watch them. So, for example, you see this class on the platform and you want to know about which are the questions which came in surgery in the May AIMS 2020 examination, watch this special class. You have the option of watching it at 1.75x, watch it at a higher speed, able to get an idea of everything, right? Or even you can download the PDF for all these. So for even the class that I'm taking right now, this is the free special class. I will be sending the on my Telegram channel. Is at the rate NEET. You can join this Telegram channel, getting updates about for such classes like these. The other advantage of downloading the app is the other advantage that you get access to tests, and if you are a plus user, you get access to any more mock tests as well. Will cover your syllabus comprehensively. Now you know why it is the easiest way to learn online. Why easiest way to learn online is through Unacademy. Is that we are MBBS students, so we have busy schedules, okay, and we don't have time for much travel as well. And the era of COVID, travel has become more difficult. More so it's best to learn here with a flexible schedule, right? You can make your own timetable and watch whatever class you want at whatever time you want, learning in whatever language you want. If there's some topic that you don't understand and you want to listen to someone teach it in the regional language, have educators who will be teaching in the language of your choice, some biochemistry, Tamil, right? So don't worry about that. And then you will have unlimited practice. You can attempt all the mock tests as you want, as many times as you want, and you can also watch the videos repeatedly. Yeah, and since I already told you, I have opened the chat here. I can see I said that she wants me to take classes for, right. I will definitely try to do that. And one of the advantages here is that you can directly chat with the educator. You can participate in discussions. You can basically write whatever you want to chat without the fear of being judged. Like in a normal class, it is very difficult to ask doubts. Here, that is not the case. And interactive polls, basically, I'll be asking you all these questions. I will be expecting answers from you, right? So this is kind of I'm using YouTube to have interactive polls, although it is much better on the Unacademy platform where you have an option to have polls. Then obviously and you can even learn when you are sitting in the bathroom, you have to have your phone with you. So now there are two things. One is Unacademy Plus and one is Unacademy Iconic. Right, so they have introduced another subscription for most platforms. For NEET PG, Unacademy Iconic subscription, the best Iconic subscription. Like for NEET UG, the Iconic subscription has some personal coaching sort of thing, right? But for NEET PG, the Iconic subscription is definitely far better than the Unacademy Plus subscription. What do you get in Unacademy Plus? You get access to live classes that are there on Plus. You get access to this. You get batch courses which are being taken by multiple educators together. Get a structured schedule for learning. That is what you get with Unacademy Plus, right? You can select Plus, that's you will get a pricing plan here. But what do you get with Unacademy Iconic? You know that Unacademy is India's largest online learning platform, and it recently acquired the famous medical learning app PrepLadder. It has a lot of experts like GRG sir, Apurv Mehra sir who teaches ortho, right? And other people who a lot of people are watching, and they are kind of the gold standard for their subject. Okay, so PrepLadder is relatively a much experienced app. So if you get here, what you get here is Unacademy live classes, Unacademy live tests. So everything you were getting here in Unacademy Plus, you are already getting. But you also get Prep Ladder. You get complete Prep Ladder. You get the video lectures. You get the latest question bank. Get a rapid revision course, and you also get handwritten. So definitely go ahead, select Iconic. Then you will arrive at this. Here you can see that the NEET Iconic it is 1 year, 1.5 years, years. Depending on which year you are in, you can take it. If you're in the second year, I would recommend that you take it. If you are in the third year, you can go ahead and take this. If you're in the final year, go ahead and take it, right? Or if you want, you can also take the 1.5 year if you are in the third year and you don't want uh, a 2 year plan, you want a 1.5 year plan, right? So what you have to do is you just apply my referral code here. Okay, that is very important. The only referral code that you should be applying in subscription is Chetanya. Now I will tell you why you should be applying this referral code and not any other. Is it is for your own benefit. Right? Listen carefully. Why you should be applying only Chetanya 10, not any referral. So यहाँ पे देखो, if you apply this referral code, all of these courses they become 10% off. 55,000 same thousand. So 92,000, right? Here you get a paid discount of 9,200 and the course becomes for 82,800. Right? You get a direct 10% off. You will get that with all referral codes, right? But the advantage here is that I'm giving you the contact me directly, option to contact me directly through my Telegram channel, that is at the rate NEET. There is a discussion group. Just join that. You will be able to uh, text there, right? And you can write there that you want to have a plus subscription. Or you can text me on Instagram. You can text me on Instagram. My Instagram handle is at the rate Chetanya.blue. I keep checking my message requests. So if there is, if you want to take a plus subscription and you write, I want to take, I will definitely reply to you, right? So that is about Telegram and Instagram. And there I will also tell you how to use credits for extra discount. I will also tell you an optional cashback that I can, right? That is about this. And if you want to take a simply, if you want to take a plus subscription, you have much more flexibility. You can essentially try out plus if you want. And here also, again, if you use my referral code Chetanya10, you'll get a 10% off. That's about this, right? So that's about the whole plus subscription, and I would really recommend that you take the iconic subscription because in the coming few years, Unacademy is going to become kind of the app for any kind of preparation. So it is a good investment right now, and the prices are increased. The prices increase for need you will increase. Will obviously right now you are getting this at a throwaway cost. This will, let's say this 80,000 even. So 80,000 for 3 years means you are paying 40,000 for prep ladder for 3. That's by itself a very, right? Will not get a better deal. So question number one: nerve supply of adductor magnus. One, you have to tell me about the nerve supply of adductor magnus. What do you know about the adductor? Answers, guys, from your end. Question number one. Divya Chaube has said that the answer is option 4. She said that the answer is option B. We discussed this question yesterday. Remember, talked about hybrid muscles. We talked about the concept of hybrid muscles or composite muscles, right? Hybrid muscles or composite muscles. Talked about these, right? And hybrid muscles or composite muscles have a dual nerve supply. Have a both of these. So since adductor magnus part of it is part of the hamstrings, right? So those that part, the adductor part is basically supplied by the tibial part of the sciatic nerve, and the remaining part is supplied by the obturator nerve. So it has a dual nerve supply, and it is very important that it is a hybrid or a composite muscle since supply from two different nerves, and that is why part of it is adductor and the rest part is supplied by the obturator. All the adductors, all the hamstrings are supplied by the tibial part of the sciatic nerve. Remember that. Question number two: inversion and eversion occurs at which version and eversion occurs? So what is inversion? What is our foot movement? What's the inside is version. That is unique foot that does not occur. Version and eversion have something equivalent. Divya Chaubey is saying the answer is good. Also saying absolute. Subtalar joints are tight for the movement of inversion and the ankle joint. Why it's not the ankle joint? So I'll just show you later what is the subtalar. Then you will realize why inversion and eversion occurs at. It's not all. The answer is good. Subtalar joint. Subtalar joint is where you have the movements of. Yeah. I hope you understand what are inversion. If this is your foot, movement towards the inside is movement towards the outside where you raise the foot like inversion. Right? Question number 3. Housemaid's knee, then inflammation of. Right? Housemaid and inflammation. It's related to the bursa of the knee. Answer for question 3 is option. Nishya said answer for question 3, patellar bursa. Can you tell me is patellar bursa superior or inferior? Although it's a obvious answer. Patellar bursa superior or inferior, and then you have to tell me whether it is superficial or deep. Whether it is superficial or deep. Divya Chaubey also said the answer is C. So yes, I'll tell you that C is the correct answer. So there's one thing I want to stress here. I'll add a image here for the housemates. For that, I want to discuss the bursa of the knee with help you remember. Yeah, this is the image I was looking for. Look at this. Here you can see that you have two bursa which are subcutaneous and two bursa which are deep. Have two bursa which are subcutaneous. I hope you can work out. So just have a look here. This bursa here, it is subcutaneous, and this bursa here, this is also subcutaneous. So any inflammation that is due to pressure will be in the subcutaneous bursa. Will be in the subcutaneous bursa, right? So total there are four bursa that are present in front, and then there is one bursa that is present behind, and then there is one bursa that is present in a different plane, right? So I will talk mainly about these four bursa. I will talk mainly about these four. There are two bursa which are superficial and two bursa which are so two bursa which are subcutaneous and two bursa which are deep, right? What are the deep ones? One is suprapatellar. There is one that is superior and there is one that is inferior, both in the deep and in the subcutaneous. So deep and superior is suprapatellar. Deep and inferior is deep infrapatellar, right? Superficial and superior is prepatellar. Superficial and superior is prepatellar, and superficial and superficial and inferior is subcutaneous infrapatellar. So infrapatellar you have subcutaneous infrapatellar and deep infrapatellar. For subcutaneous superior you have subcutaneous prepatellar, and for subcutaneous for deep superior you have suprapatellar bursa. See, this is above the patella and this is in front of the patella. So this is prepatellar, this is suprapatellar, this is all both of these are below the patella. So this is superficial or subcutaneous infrapatellar and this is deep infrapatellar, right? So when that much is clear, I will help you understand two kinds of the bursitis here. Housemaid's knee, then inflammation of. So when you think about a housemaid, all right, so all of you are again I come to this part that all of you are mature individuals. Yeah. So I kind of related to how you will be sitting in two different sexual positions, right? So if you think about housemaid's knee, the other is the clergyman's knee. The other is the clergyman's knee. All right. So I like to call this as, so you will have to think a little on your own. I will not tell you what exactly I'm here, right? So this is how a housemaid does the pocha and everything, right? So where is the pressure in the housemaid's knee? The pressure is on the superior part. The knee is pressed on the knee is resting on the superior part, right? During the housemaid's household chores. On the other hand, when the clergyman, he is in a bent position for praying, right? This is the clergyman. He is bent here in the church for praying. If this was the superior and this was the inferior, the pressure here is on the, in this case, the pressure was on the superior. Here, the pressure was on the inferior. And in both cases, it has to be subcutaneous. In both cases, it has to be subcutaneous. So for housemaid's knee, you will have damage to the prepatellar bursa. That is the inflammation of prepatellar bursa. And clergyman's knee will be the inflammation of subcutaneous infrapatellar. Inflammation of subcutaneous infrapatellar. Right? Are you able to understand what is housemaid's knee, what is clergyman's knee? I hope you will never forget which bursa is inflamed in which of these. Yeah. One you will think about bending. One you will think about this position. And in one you will think about, right? One there will be pressure on the superior, on the more anterior bursa, and there will be pressure in this on the more anterior bursa, right? You can see here that is how a housemaid bends. The pressure is on in front of the patella, so that is the patella. Yes. Next, let's move to question number 4. Positive Trendelenburg sign indicates which of this muscle, right? So Trendelenburg sign, you should know everything about Trendelenburg sign. Everything about Trendelenburg, very, 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 especially from your prof's point of view. A Trendelenburg sign, very, very important. So Mishti has already answered for question number 4. Belly Am has also answered for question 4. Right, so my Telegram channel, guys, at the Divya is also saying that the answer is yes, so who am I to disagree? Can you all tell me that which nerve is tested by the Trendelenburg sign? Can you tell me the name of the nerve that is tested by the Trendelenburg? If the Trendelenburg sign is positive, which nerve will be injured? There is a nerve injury. If I tell you there is a nerve injury in the body and you have a positive Trendelenburg sign, which nerve has been injured? That is how you will ask the same question in a clinical way. That is how you will ask the same question in a way from the next pattern. Right? Same question if I have to make it next pattern. Okay, next का जो pattern है वो clinical है, right? I will ask that the patient suffers from a nerve injury, goes positive sign, nerve will be, right? That can be a question from the clinical pattern. Superior gluteal nerve, absolutely. Gluteus medius and gluteus minimus are two muscles that are supplied by superior gluteal, right? And there is another muscle here that you know is supplied by the superior gluteal. Tell me which other muscle is supplied by the superior gluteal nerve except these. Superior gluteal nerve supplies which three? Superior gluteal nerve supplies gluteus, yes, supplies gluteus. Plus, it also supplies another muscle. You name the third muscle it supplies. Not very easy, okay? Yes, absolutely. Tensor fascia lata. I'm very glad that somebody did not say gluteus maximus because I was expecting that somebody would say gluteus maximus. Now, the inferior gluteal nerve, it supplies muscle. Inferior gluteal nerve, it supplies the maximus. I like to think of it this way. Gluteus maximus is the largest of the three glutei, right? It is the largest of the three glutei. So it says that I need my own nerve, right? I will not take nerve supply from you. I need my own nerve all to my, right? Your gluteal nerve supplies only one muscle and that muscle. Superior gluteal nerve obviously has to supply gluteus medius minimum, right? That is what you can remember here for question number 5. So why the questions are taking a little time is because I am also some basic concepts of the lower limb. Whatever concept is coming in the or to hit that concept so that you are at least familiar with the question number 5. A longitudinal arc is not formed. Very simple. If you have an orientation of the bones of the foot, know that on the medial side how the medial arc is formed. Lateral long. Divya Chaube has said that the answer is void bone. Mishti Divya Chaube and Nick will say, right. I'm glad to see the answer to the void bone, right? The void bone. Part of the lateral longitudinal void bone, part of the lateral long. But just look at the medial longitudinal arc once, get an idea of how. Let's start with calcaneus. Calcaneus. Then you go to talus. Remember, talus is the key bone for the medial longitudinal. You have the navicular, right? You have the navicular. Here you will have the, then you will have the metatarsal, right? So that is how your medial longitudinal. There is no cuboid bone here. Cuboid bone is not settled. Here, let's move on to question number. One thing I forgot to tell here: how many metatarsals will be involved here? How many metatarsals will be involved here? The medial longitudinal arch. Okay. How many metatarsals will be involved? Okay. First, let's talk about the lateral longitudinal arch. Then you will know how many are involved. Lateral longitudinal arch. You first have the this here. After that, you will have the second bone, that is the cuboid. Have the fourth and metatarsal. The lateral long. Rest first to third metatarsals. That in mind. That might also. Question number 6. All answered. Foot drop results as a of drop results as the answer that you have all given. Mishti, Teliame, Divya Chaube is option A, D, peroneal nerve. Right. So can you tell me if there is an entry to the common peroneal nerve, the common peroneal, will you have foot drop? If there is an injury, common peroneal nerve. Right. The answer is D, peroneal nerve, and an injury to the D peroneal nerve have. So as you know, common peroneal nerve, it divides into peroneal nerve, and D peroneal nerve injury will lead to foot drop. So even a common peroneal nerve injury will also lead, but then there will be other losses, right? There will be other advantages or symptoms or higher level injury, except for ulnar nerve. So question number 7: what is the strongest ligament in the strongest ligament? Question. Important question. Voice is not clear. Hello, hello. I'll try to be more clear. I actually had a cold, so that might be why my voice was a little low. I'll try to speak clear in my. The strongest ligament in the body is option femoral, like the grand mystery of strongest ligament. So it is an inverted Y-shaped ligament. It is inverted Y-shaped ligament, right? Another name for this known as the. There's a question later. So I'll not tell you another name for this, but come in one of the questions, right? That question number 8. Oblique popliteal, the continuation of. Okay, thank you, Divya. See, so how I usually remember this is that the muscle semitendinosus is half muscle, half tendon. Semimembranosus is half muscle, half membrane, right? And since semitendinosus is half muscle, half tendon, so it cannot be related to a ligament. So it cannot be related to a ligament because tendon and ligament are very different, right? Semimembranosus, on the other hand, can be related to a ligament. So remember that oblique popliteal ligament is the continuation of semimembranosus. Semimembranosus, the popliteal. So that is about this question. Question number 9. Muscles that are inserted into the iliotibial tract. Two muscles that insert tract. Guys, if you don't mind, could you hit the like button? Today you guys are answering really fast, and I'm really glad. Question number 9. The answer is A. Tensor fasciolata. I was worried that somebody will write that the answer is tensor fasciolata also inserts into the iliotibial tract, and then there is another muscle, the tibius maximus. These two muscles are the muscles that insert iliotibial tract. Is very important for stabilization of the stabilization during tension of question number. Yes, maximus was all in the options. The answer would have been maximus. The answer would have been both A and right. Question number 10. A 10-year-old boy taken for which section? Any section? Okay. So question number 10, a very simple question. So the answer to this question lies in the fact that you know that which nerve accompanies the great saphenous vein, right? Almost there in the name. Too easy per se question. So a old boy is taken for dissection of the great saphenous vein and he develops sudden pain and paresthesia, real aspect of the great nerves. Know what is nerves, even if you don't know what is the nerve supply of the medial aspect of the right, you will still be able to answer it because the great saphenous vein is accompanied by the saphenous nerve in its core. And it is a very common, you have to be very careful about the saphenous nerve if you are having any section of the great saphenous. What is venesection? Venesection is cutting of vein. I'm glad Divya Chaubey, you're liking your first live quiz. So a quiz is always interesting. That is why I prefer to have a lot of MCQ classes because that is much more engaging. Um, because the number the number of viewers I often see much more during a question number 11. Talocalcaneonavicular joint is what kind of joint? But never mind. I like having more. I'll classes. The reason is that they are much more high yield. You listen to a teaching class for half an hour. If you listen to an MCQ class for half an hour, you will learn much more during a teaching. Alright, so you know that talocalcaneonavicular joint is a ball and socket. Okay. So when we used to study during very basic classes, we only knew about two ball and socket, the shoulder joint and the hip joint. Now we know about many ball and socket joints and talocalcaneonavicular. So I have kept an image here for you. The first joint here that I was talking to you initially about was the subtalar joint, right? I was talking to you about the subtalar joint. Now, why is it called the subtalar joint? Because it is present below the talus. And you can imagine that this is the joint where this kind of a kind of joint where this kind of a movement occur, right? Will allow this kind of a movement. Now, what about this joint? This joint here, the talus, the calcaneum, navicular bone. The joint between the talocalcaneum navicular, and you can see that there is a socket here. There is this socket here, and this ball and socket joint. Question number 11 is done. Ball and socket. Now, question number 12, although a very theoretical question, not the kind of questions I like, but it was asked in the PI entrance examination, so that is why I have put this here. Patella completely ossifies by what age? The age of of somebody saying 10 years, somebody years, right? Divya Chaubey, okay, Divya Chaubey, ये guess मार लो यार ये question, otherwise I don't expect कि पता होगा. Because this is a wrong guess. The only idea that you can have here is something that very are known to be able to answer this, but if you know that statement, you will be able to guess. So I'll give you a hint. When does puberty start? When does the age of puberty? In these four options, what is the age related to of these? Age related to. For the PDF of this class and all my previous classes, you can join my Telegram channel that is at the rate. And for any plus subscription, contact on the discussion group, or you can even ask your doubts there. My plus referral code Chetanya10, and like I said the cashback my referral code and my Instagram ID So Ume Kulsum said the answer is C, 14 years, and also right. That is how you can remember this. If you want to remember it, not required. The ossification centers of the patella, they appear between 3 to 6 when they first appear. Then they fuse at the puberty because they will fuse earlier if you have higher levels of activity. Stress here will ossificate. Basically, the final ossification ossify by puberty. Right? Question number 13. What is fabella? Right? First time I heard this word, it was really funny to me. I thought that somebody didn't know how to write patellas. They have written. Anyways, what is fabella? Okay, so a lot of fast answers. Mishti, Ume, and Divya. 13 fabella is a sigmoid bone. Fabella is a sigmoid bone. That's true. The sigmoid bone, it is not same as fibula bone, and it is not a constant bone. It may or may not be present. Right? Alexis Varghese. Yeah, you're right, Alexis. I've kept an image here for you. Right? So can you make out which side is medial and which side is lateral? Side is. How do you make out? You Here you have the. What do you have? You have the great toe. So medial. Right leg behind. This is the lateral. See that there is this bone that is developing in the lateral tendon of the gastrocnemius, the lateral head of the gastrocnemius. So on the lateral head of the gastrocnemius, sometimes you have this bone developing. It is a wide bone. It develops in the tendon of another. What are the sigmoid bones in your body? Form, ella, and what is the tendon in which your patella develops? You know the tendon in which your patella develops? Which tendon does the patella develop inside? Tendon of patella. The tendon in which patella develops. You not know? Or do you not? I'll quickly tell you the tendons, right? If you don't know, you memorize them right now. Very easy to relate also. So first had pisiform. Pisiform is present inside the tendon of flexor carpi maris, right? Flexor. So it is present on the ulnar side, so it is present clearly also in the flexor compartment. This flexor carpi. Second is patella. Patella is present in the right subdivision quadratus of quadratus. This right. Third bone that we talked about is the fibella. Fibella is present in the lateral head of gastrocnemius. That is all you need to know here. And all of these bones in their development, physical stress has a lot of role, right? Physical stress has a lot of role. So if you use the lateral head of gastrocnemius much, fibella is more likely to. That's kind of a thing, right? So like we said that patella it develops during puberty, develops during puberty, and its development is enhanced or it is accelerated if you have higher levels of physical activity. That is because then you will be using your quadratus femoris more. There will be more stress on the quadratus femoris. That is one of the reasons that patella will then ossify earlier if you have higher levels of physical activity, right? For the state. higher levels of. That is because uh, one of the factors that influence their ossification that will determine the presence or absence of. Right. Question number 14. Erroneous brevis 32. Erroneous brevis is inserted. I have an image for this also. Case of first metatarsal. Right. He's saying it is inserted onto the base of the first metatarsal. Alexis has right. Alexis is right. Is wrong. It is on the base of fifth metatarsal. Correct. So chemistry has also corrected our answer now. Right. So 14th, the answer is going to be option. How I try to remember. What is brevis? Brevis means short and longest. So why is it short? Why is it long? So first of all, that you should know is that the peronium, peronii, they're coming here, come along the lateral side of your upper limb, right? They're running here on the lateral side of your foot and your leg, right? So they're coming down. Peroneus brevis, what it does is simply goes here and it attaches to the fifth metatarsal because it is short, right? It will not cross to the other side. Okay. Peroneus brevis is short, so it comes here and directly attaches on the base of the fifth metatarsal. Whereas the peroneus longus, it is relatively long. So it goes from here and it attaches on the base of the first metatarsal. It goes and it attaches on the base of the first metatarsal. Right? That is something that you have to remember. That peroneus longus is inserted onto the base of the first metatarsal. And peroneus brevis, since it's short, it lies on the lateral side, it simply inserts on the fifth metatarsal. Right? Much is clear? Divya is also right here in her answer. Question number 15. Ischial tuberosity gives attachment. Called as the ischial tuberosity. To know what ischial tuberosity is the common origin for which kind of muscle? Name common origin of fill in this dash. I want to hear what the dash is going. Common origin of quadratus femoris. No, it's not the quadratus femoris. Yes, the dash will have hamstring. So is quadratus femoris a hamstring muscle? Hamstring muscles are present behind. Quadratus femoris is a muscle of the extensors, right? So answer is going to be adductor magnus. Things are adductors, right? So the adductor here is the adductor magnus. Although adductor magnus is not a typical hamstring, right? But it is still giving, it still has its origin from the ischial tuberosity, right? It still has its origin from the ischial tuberosity, although its insertion is self on the for itself, so it is not a. It used to be a hamstring muscle, but then you have its divorced uh, tendon, right? Which I'm not going into the details of, but that is kind of this here. Question 16. The posterior division of obturator nerve innervate. The division of nerve. You know the criteria for the hamstring. You know what is the criteria for hamstring? It's also important. Posterior division of obturator nerve innervates. Absolutely true. Posterior division of obturator nerve innervates joint and anterior innervates hip joint. That is a general rule that you can remember for the obturator nerve. Right? Now what was I saying? What are the criteria for the hamstring? Criteria for hamstring. There are four criteria. First, origin should be tuberosity. Okay. That is satisfied by core muscles. Tell you which are. Second point is that its insertion should be on the tibia or the fibula. Third point is that its innervation be for from the tibial part of the sciatic nerve. Tibial part of sciatic nerve. Fourth point is that it should be a action should be it should be flexion of knee and extension of hip. These four criteria they are strictly satisfied by muscles. Satisfied by semimembranosus, semitendinosus, and the other muscle is biceps, right? Biceps femoris. The other muscle is biceps femoris. Now, what is the special case of adductor magnus? Adductor magnus, adductor magnus is very special. Why? Because it is also a hamstring. It is also not a hamstring. Why? Because it has its origin from the ischial tuberosity. Part of it is innervated by the tibial part of the sciatic nerve. It also has this action, but its insertion is on the femur. Its insertion is on the femur, but it is sometimes still considered a hamstring. Why? Because there is a, so let's say this is your femur bone. Yeah. So your adductor magnus, it is attached here, but there is a divorced tendon of the adductor magnus, which first used to be a part of the adductor magnus, but it is now said to be the tibial collateral ligament. It is now said to be the tibial collateral ligament. Right? Initially, it used to be part of the muscle, but it is now the divorced tendon of adductor magnus. That is why it is sometimes considered as a hamstring, but strictly speaking, does not satisfy the four criteria for the right. So that is about the hamstring. So I've told you the basic concept here for hamstring. Basically, जो muscles posteriorly present है और ये सब करते हैं, those are hamstring. Question number 17. The region of the knee. Of the following statements are true. So basically, this question is related to the popliteal. 17. I'll tell you, since this is a question from PGI, this is multi-answer correct. Alright, this is multi-answer correct, and three options are correct, one is incorrect. You can also tell me just the incorrect one. I'm not even sure that you're able to read the entire question. Popliteal fossa is bounded above by tendons of the hamstring muscles and below by the two heads of the gastrocnemius. Okay. Option B, the deepest structure in the popliteal fossa is the popliteal artery. The popliteal and femoral vessels are continuous throughout the adductor hiatus, and common perineal nerve passes through the central portion of the popliteal. These are all the statements. D is incorrect. Belly, Amir, and Mishti, they are right. That D statement is incorrect. Now I'll tell you why it is incorrect. First, popliteal fossa is bounded above by tendons of the hamstrings and below by the two heads of the gastrocnemius. Look here. Above here you have semimembranosus and semitendinosus. On this side you have biceps. All these three muscles, they are hamstrings. It's absolutely true. First statement. And below you have the medial head and the lateral head of the gastrocnemius. So first statement, absolutely. Deepest structure you can see here, which is the deepest structure going here. That is the red structure here, the popliteal artery. Popliteal artery, it is the deepest structure here. You can clearly see that. What is the nerve that is going through the central portion? It's the tibial nerve. The common peroneal nerve, it is going through the absolutely lateral border here of this diamond-shaped fossa, right? It is going through the lateral border. It is going through the lateral border. It's going along the lateral border, so it's not going through the central portion. Statement number D is incorrect. Statement D is incorrect. Why? Because it does not go through the central portion. That is the tibial nerve that goes through the central portion. The common peroneal nerve goes through the lateral border, right? And you know the deepest structure. And then through the adductor hiatus, the femoral vessels, as they exit the adductor hiatus, they become the popliteal. So A, B, C, they are correct, and D is incorrect. Our answers are going to be A. Question number 18. The following muscles dorsiflex the foot at the ankle joint. Dorsiflex the foot at the ankle joint. Dorsiflexion of foot, right? Remember dorsiflexion. What's the dorsum and plantar flexion? Right. So dorsiflexion of foot done by tibialis. Right. If this is your foot, here you have the dorsiflex it, you will running here, anteriormost muscle here, right? The anterior compartment, the dorsiflexor, dorsiflex contraction, flexor of your foot, dorsiflexion as a movement. Question number 19. Abduction and adduction. Abduction and adduction. Abduction and adduction of the foot occurs at the right, it occurs at the subtalar joint. Subtalar. What other movement occurred at the subtalar joint? Version and eversion. Version and eversion of the foot. And inversion and eversion of the foot is very similar to abduction and adduction of the forefoot. Okay, so both these movements tend to occur at the subtalar. Not the mid-tarsal joint, it's the subtalar joint. You see here, question number 20, the contents of the femoral sheath. 20th. Okay, it's in a very big question, but very important. The femoral vein and femoral artery. Yes, absolutely correct. Femoral vessels, they do pass through the femoral sheath, but the femoral nerve passes. Kind of show you a diagram. Have a look at this. You can make out this is the femoral sheath, and you can see that the artery and the vein, they are traveling inside it. Artery, the vein, they are traveling inside it, and you can see the femoral nerve here is traveling outside it. Very carefully that the femoral artery is traveling inside this sheath kind of thing, and there is a femoral canal on the hillmost part where you have the lymph here, and this is the femoral nerve that is traveling out. Here the arrangement is again nerve, artery, vein, maybe, right? Middle to lateral it is van, from lateral to medial of artery, right? Question number 21. What is the most stable position of the ankle joint? Most stable position of. It is right. 21. The answer is D. Dorsiflexion. The job is also right. Dorsi. Right. Okay. So what happens here is what how I try to remember is this. That what happens when you wear heels? What happens when you wear heels? Right? When girls wear heels, ऐसा ही कुछ होता है ना heel में. So what is this? Is this dorsiflexion or is this plantar flexion? Is this dorsiflexion? Is the foot in a dorsiflex position or is it in a plantar flex? Foot is in a plantar flex position. It is curved downwards. So this is plantar flexion. So dorsiflexion. This movement is plantar flexion. It is plantar. And this is a very unsteady, this is a very unstable position for the ankle joint. Right? Very common to have ankle joint injuries, ankle joint stresses. Very, very damaging thing. Hearing here, the X-ray, you can see how troubled the bones, right? So it is a very unstable position. This is how I remember that the plantar flexion position. It is a very unstable. So what is the opposite of the unstable position? It is the most stable position. And what was that position? The dorsiflexion of the. The close packed position. It's a very stable position for the. Try to remember it using and yeah, the dorsiflexion like this, and you can see how close packed joint is. That is the closed packed position. Unstable or weak or the ankle joint is one that you will see all ladies at a party. All the foots are plantar flexed, and that is very that is right is also very painful for them, right? Question number 22. The longest vein in the question. Longest. Any my NEET contract did not kind of not get renewed. That's why I'm just let's see. Hey, Kirti, thank you. The answer is long saphenous vein. The answer is long saphenous vein, the longest vein. Also great saphenous vein, great saphenous vein. Right? 23rd, the following structures pass through the subsartorial canal except. Buju, actually, because of my exams, it's a little time. But I had some planned. I don't. Let's see when that happens. I wanted to do it after the end of the NEET. Kept getting delayed. Right? Ashish is right. Following structures pass through the canal except fastest. Yes. Subsartorius canal is very simply said the adductor canal or the sartorial. Here you have the sartorial muscle. The canal that is present under it is the subsartorial. What are the boundaries? The adductor longus, sartorius, and vastus medialis. So the nerve to vastus medialis, it is the content of the adductor canal. Nerve to vastus medialis is the content of the adductor canal, but not to the nerve to the vastus. The answer is going to femoral artery, femoral vein, saphenous nerve, all of these running. Number 20. You can basically guess this based on the boundaries of the adductor canal. Boundaries of the adductor canal, the deep boundary here is the vastus. The nerve to vastus medialis would make, but the nerve to vastus. Number 24, Sartorius muscle. Sartorius muscle, it does take origin from the anterior superior iliac spine. So Sartorius muscle, also called as the Taylor's muscle. Some people like to call it the honeymooner's muscle. helps me remember its action. Okay. The answer is anterior superior iliac spine. You know it runs down a very long muscle. It runs down diagonal manner across your leg, muscle of the compartment. So there are two muscles. One is the sartorius. Try to remember these antagonists. The sartorius. The other is gracilis. Sartorius is responsible for the honeymoon. Gracilis is anterior. How I remember. So this will first of all be a lateral rotator. The lateral. Second, what it will be again. Here. I hope you can make out why it is called as the honeymoon. Why it is called as the honeymooners. Right? You can make out all these functions. They are the it will cause the traction mainly, and because of that, it is also causing the extension of the joint, flexion of the knee joint. Right? Sorry, it causes the flexion of the. That is the thing. That is how I try to remember their actions, the sartorius and the. Question number 25. The keystone of the medial longitudinal arch of the medial longitudinal. I've given you a way to remember the functions of sartorius and right. So Mishti is saying 25. The answer is callus. Yes, Mishti has been listening very carefully to the lecture because I had told this point previously that keystone of the medial longitudinal arch of the callus. Right. Mansi has also said that it is welcome Mansi. Question number 26. Femoral nerve does not supply. Very easy question again. I have again told you this in the lecture already. He has given us an answer. Femoral nerve does not supply tensor fascial data. Then what supplies tensor fascial data about what is so sartorius, rectus femoris, articularis genius? All of these things are supplied by the. So which nerve will supply the tensor fascial? The nerve that nerve supplying tensor fascial data. We like the name. Yes, that's absolutely inferior gluteal. I already told you which are the three side ones. Important to remember this because they are part of the Trendelenburg. Lucus medius, Lucus minimus, and very important, kind of one of the most important points from this chapter, that inferior gluteal nerve is involved in Trendelenburg line, and it is the parenthesis of minimus, right? This maximus I already right by the inferior gluteal, right by the question number 27. Right. All of you have answered option, the hiatus in the adductor magnus. That is the site where the superficial femoral artery will become the popliteal artery. So, the adductor magnus, here it is the femoral artery, because it moves outside the adductor hiatus, become the right. That is, radial artery is a continuation of the femoral artery, nothing else. Similarly, here you have the popliteal as it crosses the adductor hiatus. Adductor hiatus is the riding. Question 28. Right. So here I will apply a principle that I used to apply with my NEET, right? And that principle that I used to apply was called on metric, and that does not really. But that trick used to be that usually if the question is a little difficult, the answer is the longest option, right? Which is winning a lot. So it's basically that make it correct. The correct answer has to be correct option has to get longest, and out of laziness, the incorrect ones are kept. That is kind of sometimes true for some questions, like here. For the spring ligament, obviously not seen in the spine, it is seen. So you can easily exclude these, right? That is not an issue. By exclusion, you can come to this. It is synonymous with the plantar calcaneus. It is the supporting ligament for the medial longitude, right? The spring ligament. Question number 29. What is the action of the popliteal? Very important. Very action of Radha Sharma is the only one who has answered so far. Waiting for one or two more answers. So Mishti has said that the answer is A. Radha Sharma. There is a conflict. I'll wait for one more answer and then I'll tell you. There are 7, 8 people watching. So can you tell me one more answer? Somebody, a guess out of A or B. One out of A and B is correct. So Mansi has said that the answer is that's unfortunately wrong. Hardik Mittal has said A. That is right. The answer is option A. It rotates the femur laterally. Right here. Popliteus responsible for unlocking of, right. What occurs during when the knee joint is extended? When the knee joint is so when you are simply standing, right? If there is no locking or unlocking, your extensors will have to spend a lot of energy in keeping your knee joint stable, right? But what happens is that there is a locking mechanism. During extension, what happens is the femur rotates. If this is a tibia, the femur rotates medially on the tibia and it gets locked here in this position. Okay, your femur gets locked on the tibia, alright? So when you have to flex, when you have to start flexion, that locking has to be unlocked, and that is done by popliteus. So what it does is the femur was rotated medially on the tibia, it rotates it laterally and it unlocks it, and then you can flex it, right? And then you can flex the joint. So that is one thing here that you have to understand. I'm not sure if I was able to adequately depict my fingers. Right? Listen to it one more time. If this is your femur, right? These two fingers are a femur, and this is your tibia. So when you are standing, your extensor, so that they don't have to spend much energy, what they do is they turn the femur like this laterally on the tibia, right? They turn it laterally on the tibia. Sorry, they turn it medially on the tibia and they put it in a locked position. So the tibia gets locked here in the medial epicondyle, right? Even in the tibia, they get locked with it. So when you have to flex the knee joint, first this locking has to be opened. All right, this locking has to be opened. For that, the femur is rotated laterally. It was rotated medially, so now it is rotated back laterally, and that is done by popliteus. So popliteus unlocks the knee joint, right? And that is why it rotates the femur laterally on the tibia. The locking is done by medial rotation of femur on the tibia, right? The locking is done by medial rotation of femur on tibia. All right. Question number 30. Floor of the femoral triangle is formed by the following muscles except. Good question. Of the femoral. So what are the various muscles? Let's see this diagram. So when you start from here, this is the first muscle. That is the most lateral muscle. That will be the iliopsoas. That will be the iliopsoas. Right? Iliopsoas. Second muscle that you will see in the floor will be the muscle. That is pectineus. Third muscle that you will see will be the adductor longus. So what are the four muscles? Iliacus, psoas major, pectineus, and adductor longus. There is no role. Pectineus is gone, adductor longus is gone, iliacus is gone. Adductor brevis, it is not found in the floor of the femoral triangle. It is deeper to the adductor longus, so it will not be found here. So answer to option question number 30 is right. It is not found in the floor of the femoral triangle, ductor brevis. The rest three, I have already shown you this diagram, so it is important to remember the flow. Right, so question number 31. You guys have already seen this question, but it has come again. So just give it an answer for formality, then we'll move on to the next question. Foot drop results as an injury to. You all know that foot drop is due to the injury to the peroneal nerve. When an injury to the common peroneal nerve, because the common peroneal divides into the and the peroneal nerve, an injury to the common peroneal nerve will also lead to foot drop. Deep peroneal nerve injury will also lead to, right? Here you have deep peroneal nerve in the options. Question number 32. It's a good question. Number 32. I hope you are able to read the question. You understand what this A/E is. What is this? Can you tell me? Do you understand what this is? I wasn't sure if you would be able to understand this. All except. Question means lateral rotators of the hip are all except. So you have to tell which of these is not a lateral rotator. Mishti was not able to interpret the question. He has told the lateral rotators. They are lateral rotators. A on the other hand, psoas major, not a lateral rotator. Psoas major helps to flex the hip joint. The flexor, the rest are lateral rotators. The obturators and the quadratus they are lateral rotators. The answer to question A/E question means all except. अब ये एक बार बता दिया तो automatically get this every time you questions. So that is one of the good things about doing MCQ. Get familiar with the whole pattern. Get familiar, right? Question 33. Again a formality question. You kind of already attempted. Okay, 32 is A. 33, strongest ligament in the body. Shraddha Sharma has answered. No, Shraddha Sharma has Mishti has answered that the strongest ligament in the body is the iliac. We discussed that, yes, the strongest ligament of your. Question number 34. Flexor of the flexor. Flexor of the hip. Right. So the answer for that is going to be 33 was D. There's some lag between and the but there might be some lag. The flexor of the hip joint here, it is going to be already discussed. At psoas major, it is iliopsoas flexor of the hip, right? And what was the lateral that we discussed along with the lateral for Sharma? His answer. Psoas major. Correct. Right? Have a look at these various actions. Tell me that if you action is really love this, right? So just see here, like I told you, what are the lateral rotators that you should know? Obturators plus quadratus femoris, right? Vastus muscles, they are part of they're part of the quadriceps. They're part of quadriceps femoris. Quadriceps, you know, are part of the anterior compartment of the thigh, so that is an extensor of the knee, an extensor of the joint. Know that the function of quadriceps is to extend the knee. Iliopsoas, we've talked it multiple times. It is a flexor of the hip. What is left is gluteus maximus, extensor of are kind of easy to remember their function for their orientation. Right? It's very easy to remember the actions, especially in case of the lower limb. Right? यहाँ पे ज़्यादा tension नहीं होती है. You know the orientation of the muscle, you're able to know the action. Question number 35. Fascia cribrosa is related. What is fascia cribrosa also called as? It is first of all obviously called as the crib fascia. Okay, it is also called as the Hasselbalch's fascia. And you very well know that the fascia cribrosa will be related to the thigh. It will here you it is related to the saphenous also. That's not there in the options. Not related to spinal ring. Question number 36. This is a good question. Peroneal artery is a branch of which artery? What is the answer for 36? Right, Mishti has answered correctly. Is C. So look here, peroneal artery, the branch of which artery? So guys, here actually two options are correct, but we'll go with the better options. Answer is then B. Peroneal artery is mostly a branch of the posterior tibial artery. The artery is mostly a branch of the posterior tibial artery, but sometimes it may arise directly from the popliteal. Right. So a little complicated. Sometimes the answers here are kind of going to be. So I hope you can understand this. There's the femoral artery, continuous tibial artery. Then you have the tibial arteries, the deep tibial artery, posterior tibial artery, the anterior tibial artery, and the posterior artery, and artery for peroneal artery. That is something that and here how the various branches are there for the various arteries. Right? This is what I was saying. It's a branch of the posterior tibial artery. Sometimes it may arise from the. Sometimes it may. Question number 37. For femoral canal, which is for femoral canal. Question number 37. Guys, any answers in your head? a very dedicated learner. All right. The femoral canal. Know that here you have the femoral. Okay, I had shown you a right. Map. Have a look here, guys. Kind of have a look here. Sorry, I'm sorry. So look here. So this is the lateral side where you have the femoral nerve. Medially you had the femoral artery, then you had the femoral. Here, this most medial compartment, medial most compartment was the femoral canal. Compartment was the femoral. It is the medial most compartment of the femoral sheath. This is correct. Option D is correct. Right. Then what lies what is it is smaller in the female. This is incorrect. It is larger in the female. Why? Because probably because the size of the blood vessels is smaller in the female, so the femoral canal is automatically larger. Right? It does not contain the femoral vein. It contains the lymph node. The femoral vein is in the lateral side. Right? It contains the lymph node, or in the femoral vein is in the middle part. Inferior epigastric artery lies medially. No, it is the lacunar ligament that lies medially. The lacunar ligament, which for question number 37. Question number 38. Extension of the hip is restricted by. Extension of the hip is. High toddlers teeth. So what is the ligament that restricts the extension of the hip? Now I've made it more specific, right? So there's a point beyond which you cannot extend the hip, right? Like the arm, you can extend it pretty backward, right? Talk about the arm, you can take it almost completely behind. But can you take the leg? There's this man, the legs. The leg can only go till a certain angle, right? It cannot. You cannot have the leg. You cannot have the leg. Huh? So that there is a ligament that extends that extension of the hip. What is the name of that ligament? That is what you tell us. The name of the ligament that restricts the extension. One, I want a faster answer. Ostap Kakade is right. Extension of the hip. It is the femoral. Question number 39. I've already discussed this. I've discussed two aspects. One is the housemaid's knee. The other aspect that I discussed was the clergyman's. And remember, I related it to a sexual position, which I did not describe, obviously, not the right audience to be describing it, but you are. This is how, remember the pocha lagane wali thing? How a housemaid wipes the floor. That's the where the stress will be. The stress will be on this part. And a clergyman, he prays in this sitting position, and the stress will be on the inferior. Both cases there will be subcutaneous. The subcutaneous bursa will be damaged. So in this case, for housemaid's knee, it is an inflammation of the prepatellar bursa, and the clergyman's knee is an inflammation of the subcutaneous infrapatellar. Right? This yeah. Question number 39. That was it. Question number 40. Short saphenous vein is the continuation. Short saphenous vein is the continuation of. There's a great saphenous vein and there is a short saphenous vein, right? And then there is a long saphenous vein, or long, straight or long. So yeah, tell me. Okay, so it is already said short saphenous vein is continuation of the marginal vein, till marginal vein rise to great saphenous vein, and the lateral marginal vein rise to. Question number 41. Oblique popliteal ligament is the continuation of. Again, we had already discussed. The way I told you to remember this was that semitendinosus is half muscle, half tendon, right? So half muscle, half tendon. Since it is related to a tendon, it has nothing to do with a ligament. But semimembranosus is half muscle, half membrane. Therefore, it can continue as a ligament. So option B, semimembranosus is the continuing as oblique popliteal. Oblique popliteal ligament, the continuation of the muscle semimembranosus. Question number 42, ligament of Bigelow. Ligament of Bigelow is present in the joint, right? Ligament of Bigelow is present in the hip joint. Can you tell me what is actual name for ligament of Bigelow? What is another name? Another name. Absolutely. Femoral. That's true. Ligament of Bigelow is femoral ligament. I've also, I guess, put it here for your understanding. Iliofemoral ligament. There is a lateral thick band, have a central thin portion here, a medial thick band. It is an inverted Y shape, so I hope you can figure out the inverted Y of the ligament. Okay. That is the ilio coming from iliac bone, attaching on is the wrist ligament of. Yeah, it is also, that is why it is also called the inverted, like the word beagle. Question number 43. In adults, the chief arterial supply to the head of the is from. Again, you can apply a ninja technique here. Like I told you, how you can guess some. Right. So option C is the longest option, branches from the medial, the lateral circumflex femoral arteries. So as you can see, the longest option and correct option also. The medial and the lateral circumflex femoral artery. They are the chief arterial supply to the head of the. In the humerus, you have the anterior circumflex humeral and the posterior circumflex. Right? Remember? Here, here you have medial and lateral circumflex femoral artery. Do comparison here with the question number 44. Saphenous opening is situated. Where is the saphenous opening? Before the answer is option B. Saphenous opening is situated below and lateral to where you will have the pubic circle below. The simple orientation. Want me to show an image? I can do that. Here, this is the saphenous opening. This is the cribiform fascia. You can make out that saphenous opening. Here, you will have the pubic tubercle. It is located below and lateral, right? That is about the saphenous opening. Question number 45. Drainage of the glans penis. Drainage of the glans penis to the 45. 44 you all were able to answer correctly, below and lateral to the pubic tubercle. What about 45? Drainage of the glans penis. You should remember that glans penis is an exceptional drainage here, so that is why it is important. That glans penis, it drains to the deep inguinal nodes. Right? It drains to the inguinal node. So it is very difficult for it to drain to the para-aortic nodes, right? Because they are present much more superficially. So the confusion might be between superficial and deep inguinal nodes. Glans penis, you have to remember separately, it drains to the deep inguinal, right? Question number 46. We've already discussed this. Fabella, where does it occur? Where does fabella occur? So remember that this is the tail head of the gastrocnemius, the lateral head of the gastrocnemius. Right? So it you will have here. Right. So absolutely correct. Fibella is found in the gastrocnemius lateral head. I told you all the tendons of the various sigmoid bones. I told you for pisiform, I told you for patella, I had also told you for fibella. I told you for all the three. Right. Question number 47. Action of Quadratus femoris is. What is the action of Quadratus? We've discussed this that Quadratus femoris plus the obturators, they have a common action. Quadratus femoris plus the obturators, internals and externals, they have a common action because of their similar orientation. Absolutely true. The lateral rotation. Right? Question number 48. Which of these is not seen in the adductor canal? Which of these is not seen in the adductor canal? Answer will be which of these is not seen in the adductor canal. Okay, so you know that the femoral nerve it does not pass through the femoral sheath. Only the femoral artery and the femoral vein are present there. And adductor canal, you did have the saphenous nerve. You also had the nerve to the vastus medialis. You also had the nerve to the vastus medialis. Remember, this was the MCQ 4. Saphenous nerve was there. Nerve to vastus medialis was there. Answer is option B, femoral nerve. It is not a content of. You want me to show you? I can try to show you. Try to see. It's a good. Yeah. You can see here you have the femoral artery. You have the femoral vein. You have the nerve to vastus medialis. You have the saphenous nerve and the saphenous artery. You have anterior division of obturator nerve going here. You have the posterior division of obturator nerve going here. So that is about the adductor or the subsartorial canal. Question number 49. Nerve supply to adductor hallucis. Supply to adductor hallucis. So So the nerve supply is there's some part that is supplied by the medial plantar nerve, and there is some part that is supplied by the lateral plantar nerve. Right here, adductor hallucis supplied by. So I'll tomorrow. So today it's almost 2 hours, so I'm also a little tired. Try to end the class, but tomorrow I'll try to tell you the entire muscles of the foot and how their nerve supply. Right, I'll tell you the 4 layers in which they are present. Right, the muscles, and I'll tell you their nerve supply. So right now, just remember that it is the deep branch of the lateral plantar nerve. Tomorrow, I'll tell you how to remember. Question number 50, kind of an easy question. Where is the anterior cruciate ligament attached? Very important to remember the attachments of anterior cruciate ligament and posterior cruciate ligament. Anterior cruciate ligament, it is attached. Where is it attached? Where it is attached on the tip. Okay, last question. The answer is medial part of the lateral condyle of the. Get this diagram. Okay, I don't have a diagram here. See a diagram for the anterior cruciate ligament, medial part of the lateral condyle of the. That is how the anterior cruciate ligament is attached. Also read the attachment of the posterior. Tomorrow I'll try to explain these muscles to you. Their four layers and what is there. Right. So thank you for watching these 50 questions. Tomorrow we are going to do question number 51 to question number 100. We'll at least try to do any questions. Thank you so much for watching. Do subscribe to this channel. Let's crack NEET PG. Okay, hit the like button for this video definitely, and drop in a comment after this video has done streaming that can that I feel good about myself, I guess. So hit the bell icon for notifications so that you know that when I'm live. And Chetanya 10 is my plus referral code. As I already told you, you'll get a 10% get credits, the cashback from my end. That is why you should code. And my Telegram channel is at the rate NEET, yeah, right? And you can also join the discussion group, and that is how you can contact me. For Instagram, you can also contact me at what, right? Thank you so much. Thank you for watching. If you have any doubts, you can let me know.